Hey everybody and welcome. It is I, your songwriting partner, your co-producer, and as always, your friend, Joe Seeby. And happy Friday, everybody. And Friday is our melody writing day. If you guys were here yesterday on Thursday, we wrote a series of words for our class, creative writing class, that we call Picture This. We wrote a series of words, and then Fridays we always put a melody to those lyrics. We like to create a melody from that. So, what is a melody? Well, a melody, for those of you who don't know, I'm sure most of you, 100% of you, almost 100% of you know what a melody is. A melody is a tune in which a song is sung, right? Mary Had a Little Lamb. That's the melody. Not the lyrics, it's just the melody. Okay, so now that we understand that, what a melody actually is, we started looking at the lyrics from Thursday, and I'll read them to you now. So the lyrics are, every time I think of you, I cry. I cry just a little. And every time I think of you, I die. I die just a little. And now I realize, as tears filling my eyes, I know that every time I think of you, I cry. I cry just a little. So that's that. Those are the lyrics. Okay, so now that we understand that. Those are the lyrics. Now I said to myself, all right, where do we go? Where do we start? Where does it go from right here? Okay, so as I tell you guys a lot of times, I can almost hear a little bit, like, when I start to imagine, after I write the lyrics, I'm already going to work on an idea for a melody, right? So sometimes I get a feeling. And I've been doing music so long now that that feeling can generate a sort of melody from the get-go, So, and the music underneath the melody almost happens sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes simultaneously with the melody that gets written. I can almost hear the chords underneath of those melodies, because I've been doing this so long, I just start to hear those things, right? These are things that, some of you have even better than I do, and then others, you're going to develop that as you do it more and more often. This is like anything, the more you do something, the better you get at it, It's just, that's a natural progression. If you do it every day, you'll get better at, you'll just get better at it, So, I started to, just throw some ideas out there. So I was going, let me see, what is the, yes, I was going, that was the first note. I was going, that's how I heard it. I was like, every time. I thought, well, that's nice, right? Every time. Okay, and then I started hearing the tempo of it, right? So, and then, I heard the cadence too. The cadence came, Every time I think of you, I cry. I cry just a little, and every time I think of you, I die. I die just a little, and now I realize, as tears filling my eyes, I know that every time I think of you, I cry. I cry just a little, right? So then I knew the cadence, right? So then I started to, I either sometimes I'll hear it, or I'll hear an idea generally, or sometimes I'll just sit at the keyboard and try to generate a melody, you know what I mean? So, but in this case, I heard it in my head first. So I heard the vocal up here first, right? So, but it wasn't fleshed out all the way 100%. So I heard bits and pieces of it. And that's how it usually happens. You'll hear a little piece of it, and then you have to kind of search for the rest of it. So like the initial part I heard almost immediately when it came to my head. It was almost finished, like, in a way. But not all of it. It was like blurry. It's like a blurry picture. You can't quite make out everything that's there, but you sort of understand where we are. So that's kind of where I was. So what I'm going to do is I went, so yeah, it was, that was so every time I think of, every time I think of you, I cry. Ooh, I like that. So we're going. Oh, I like that, Every time I think of you, I cry. I cry just a little, and every time I think of you, I die. I die just a little. There's a little variation there. So I was going, I thought that was nice, right? So then, so now, that was the initial part I heard in my head, right? So let me grab my guitar. So we're going, let me see. Right? So that's the melody. So it's going. So, that's the first chord, for that. That would be under that. And every time I think of you, I cry. No, I didn't want it to be like that. I mean, it could work like that, but I want it to move. I want movement. So I was going. Every time I think of, every time I think of you, I cry. Ooh, I like that. I cry just a little, and every time I think of you, I die. I die just a little. Ooh, I like that, so every time I think of you, I cry. Cry just a little, and every time I think of you, I die. I die just a little. Where do I go now? Because now now I realize, right? So now I want to kind of take it to heaven a little bit. So, or create a variation right there. So, I don't want to change the chords. I like this chord progression, so I don't want to, so I have to find a new melody within that chord progression. Do you understand? So I was going, because you want it to be interesting. You don't want it just to be the same thing over and over and over. You want to variate to give it a little bit of dynamic and a little color and shape, So I was going, okay, so let's go back over the melody part, right? So, and every time I think of you, I cry. I cry just a little, and every time I think of you, I die. I die just a little, and now I realize. Oh, I thought that was cool, right? And now I realize as tears will in my eyes, I know that. Ooh, I like that. That's a nice little variation, right? So, ooh, that's really pretty, right? So, and now I realize the tears are in my eyes. I know that every time I think of you, I cry. Cry just a little. I cry just a little. Right? Then you just repeat, I cry just a little, because that's the name of the song. So you want to repeat that. That's the tag. So, so the whole thing, you know, in a nutshell is, you know, and every time I think of you, I cry. I cry just a little, and every time I think of you, I die. I die just a little, and now I realize as tears fill in my eyes. I know that every time I think of you, I cry. I cry just a little. I cry just a little. I cry just a little. You can just play around with it after that, you know. That would just be like, if I was recording that, I would play around with it and find all kinds of little things to do, you know, over top of that. So what I'm going to do right now is I'll play you the whole thing I did, like on a little recording of it, so you can hear it. You know how I always do. I always make a little drum beat and everything. So here that is. Every time I think of you, I cry. I cry just a little, and every time I think of you, I die. I die just a little, and I realize as tears fill in my eyes. I know that every time I think of you, I cry. I cry just a little. I cry just a little. Just a little. Cry just a little. You know. So there's the whole thing, guys. I hope you like that melody. All right, guys, that is all the time we have for tonight. This is your songwriting partner, your co-producer, and as always, your friend, Joe Seavey, signing off. Have a lovely weekend. I love you. I miss you. Be safe. Have a glorious weekend, and I will see you guys on Monday. Peace.